Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon. I'm Shazlina Zakaria from Malaysia Productivity Corporation. Tune in MPC Productivity Talk 8 series. Don't forget, every Friday 3 p.m. Malaysia's productivity recorded a decline in 2020 at 5.5% due to the impact of pandemic. Tourism industry is negatively impacted due to the pandemic of outbreak. It has created new challenges and made worse with the existing issues. In the post-COVID development strategy PCDS 2030, tourism is one of the economic sectors that has been identified as the main engines of growth. Sarawak, the largest state in Malaysia, is home to 27 ethnic groups with 45 different dialects. Each group has their own unique stories, beliefs, traditions, and cultures. Tourism will contribute accounting to 11% of GDP in Sarawak and generate 25% of total employment in the tourism and hospitality sector. We have special guests all the way from Sarawak to discuss further on this topic. Stay with us. Welcome to MPC Productivity Talk 8 series. As promised, we have two special guests all the way from Sarawak. Puan Hajah Nur Hafizah Muhammad Arop, who is the director of MPC Sarawak, and she's been there since 1st July 2021. How are you, Puan Nur Hafizah? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And we have also special guests from the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture of Sarawak, MTEX, Mr. Chang. How are you, Mr. He? And thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Puan Hafizah and Mr. He, as we all know, at the beginning of MCO enforced by the government to flatten this pandemic from spreading, and it is the best time for industry players to increase their knowledge, build capacity, and enhance capability on numerous aspects of tourism. So maybe I can start with Puan Hafizah first, being the leading MPC, being the leading agency for productivity of the nation. So what is your opinion on this? And how does the tourism players should take this advantage to increase their capability in the aspect of tourism? Puan Hafizah.
Thank you, Puan Shazlina. Thank you for having me for this session to discuss or to have an insight on the productivity perspective of tourism, especially in Sarawak. Yes, as we are well aware, since for the past 2 years, tourism is the first sector to go down. Nothing moves, no one travels, everybody as a standstill. Yeah. But lately, the government is beginning to open up bubble travel, starting in Langkawi. We are seeing the development there, and moving forward in October, we'll be opening Genting, Melaka, and Pulau Tioman. So since 2020, under MPC, we move via our tourism nexus, which is the mandate that we received from under Malaysia Productivity Blueprint, all right, where we capitalize that during that moment, that period, the first MCO, we pivot to online programs. We build capacity in terms of knowledge, skill of tourism players, all right. We have more than 20 series of TPN Knowledge Enhanced Webinar Series, or we call it TPN Qs, okay, just to fill up the time and to instill that the marketing skill, the presentation skill, okay, talking about how to promote, to use, to utilize social media, especially via FB ads. All right. We have sessions on back then, now talking about government stimulus packages that players may not be well aware. I think we are taking cognizance of the majority of the players are from the small categories, especially micro. So we are the bridging the gap line in giving and disseminating information. Okay. Other than cues, we have organized the first virtual summit. Okay, the first TPM virtual summit, where we formulated from that summit and from all those cues, we formulated the TPM 5R to reset tourism. Right? So we are talking about how to rebrand, okay? How to rebrand or to reinvent your product, all right? To relook at your unique selling points. I just saw this video on TikTok, how Singapore has started, is going to start on this 1st November, a bus travel from India to Singapore. From India to Singapore, cutting across 5 countries. And of course, Malaysia is one of the destination, but how they cater to the needs of the travel now. We're talking about the concern of safety, hygiene. All right, the bus is designed to protect or to ensure that every passenger will be looked after. Yeah, in terms of cleanliness and the distancing. But we're talking about thinking of the box, out of the box. Okay. So this is very effective way, and I think similar concept can be used to invigorate, to reintroduce this kind of approach. Right. Next, we're talking about the research target market. Okay. The keys, the product sold must appeal to the target market. And our players must first understand the segmentized market. We cannot simply produce our products or packages one size fits all. Yeah. Now we have various kinds of products, various kinds of market. Yeah. The leisure markets, there are segmentation of it. Yeah. The business, even in the leisure, family. Now we are talking about traveling in small groups, family of small groups, families of friends. Yeah, so we must cater to that. All right. Next is to remodel marketing and promotion. Okay, I think the promotion of buy now, travel later is very ongoing, and still we still need to look at that. To leverage on that, and especially on the e-commerce platform. Yeah, and of course, utilizing the technology. Okay, industry players must ride on technology, adapt and adopt technology and digitalization for delivery, communication, marketing, and promotion. Right. Especially create that online presence as a teaser. Yeah, for our travelers, for our guests who has been longing to come back to Malaysia, to see KL again, to see Sarawak again, Chang, to taste that kek lapis again. We create that the longing for them to create a reason for them to come back. And the first thing when the border opens, inshallah, soon. Kuching will be the first destination that will come over. After all those effort, we target who are our identified market. And because we have to bear in mind, we are in a very competitive region. And we see that not only we'll be competing with Thailand, Singapore. We must take into cognizance Vietnam is coming up with new, more attractive packages, and perhaps low cost than Malaysia. So we must take that into consideration. How we try to relook in terms of cost, time, and the uniqueness. Travel, tourism is all about experience and uniqueness of the product. All right. Yes, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Next, we would like to ask Mr. He. Mr. He, the COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated a noticeable growth, yeah, and it has become a shock to our society at large. So, especially among tourism and hospitality industry and travel industry, which gives a great impact to SME. So, from your perspective, what is the tourism outlook for post COVID-19, especially in Sarawak, from MTech's point of view?
Yeah. So COVID-19 pandemic, I think, has brought an unprecedented impact on the global tourism industry. So Sarawak is not spared from the adverse impact, of course. Just imagine in 2019, Sarawak had received 4.66 million of visitors. But because of the pandemic in 2020, we only received 1.19 million visitors, which was a decline of about 74%. So with the continuing border and movement restrictions, I think we anticipate a further decline in 2021 arrival figures. So nevertheless, I think we should not just remain pessimistic about the pandemic, but rather get ourselves prepared now how to go through the pandemic and prepare for a post-COVID-19 return of the industry. Of course, Sarawak state government, I think we took a lot of short-term measures for recovery. Example will be our Bantuan Khas BKSS for the industry, which helps the tour operators, which helps the tour guides, the vehicle drivers, and hotels, to go through this difficult time by some incentives. But apart from that, I think we also organize a lot of short-term campaigns. I think one of the example will be the Sia Sitok campaign, if you have heard about it. Sia Sitok in Sarawak, Bahasa Sarawak is kesini kesana, So it's like cuti Sarawak. So we actually encourage Sarawakians to travel, all right, at a 50% discount. So that actually attracted quite a number of Sarawakians. So this helps to promote domestic tourism when our borders are not open, and also at the same time help the tourism industry. At least they have some business going on. All right. So apart from that, we also plan to open up our borders to West Malaysians and Sabahans first, which means it's still domestic tourism. We call it a Sarawak Escape Campaign, meaning if they book ticket to come to Kuching, to come to Miri, to come to Cebu, we work with some airlines. So probably airlines could give a discounted airfare. So when they come to Sarawak, they can also enjoy a discounted rate of hotels. So this is another campaign we call Sarawak Escape Campaign. And we have another one in the pipeline is weekend escapades for Singaporeans. So Singapore and Sarawak, we have direct flights, but of course not now. But when it is open, it's just about an hour plus flight. So they can come here for the weekend. So these are some of the short-term recovery measures Sarawak government has put in place. Now, what are some of the long-term plans that we have put in place? So during this pandemic, I think we do not sit and wait, but we have embarked on a post-COVID-19 development strategy, PCDS 2030, like you mentioned. So where tourism sector is recognized as one of the key economic pillars. So in line with that, our Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture Sarawak has gathered all the industry players, including tour agencies, hoteliers, transport handlers, homestays, arts and craft industry, business events industry, to review our situation and come up with some strategies how to move forward. So our aspiration in the PCDS for tourism aspiration will be by 2030, Sarawak will be a leading destination for ecotourism and business events in ASEAN, and it's driven by empowered communities to conserve our heritage, culture, and biodiversity, and importantly, to promote investment and development through responsible actions. The four strategies are firstly to enhance travel connectivity to and from Sarawak. Secondly, we develop tourism products and assets by building upon our cultural heritage and natural assets. And thirdly, to position Sarawak as a preferred tourism destination. And number four, to improve the capacity and capability of our human capital in the tourism industry. So that is one of the long-term strategies. But besides this PCDS, we are also in the final stage of coming up with our Sarawak Tourism Master Plan 2021 to 2035 to chart the way forward. So you can see both of these PCDS and Sarawak Tourism Master Plan studies will actually help Sarawak to present a very comprehensive guide and the way forward for the Sarawak tourism industry. So those will be the short-term recovery measures, campaigns, and the long-term strategies for us to prepare for the post-COVID-19 era. Over to you.
Well, those are some interesting insights from both our speakers. We'll be right back after this break. We'll explore more from both from Sarawak aspects in tourism. Stay tuned. Welcome back to MPC Productivity Talk 8 series. Thank you for still joining us, and don't go anywhere. We have more questions to explore with our two speakers. Having said that, Puan Hafizah, we understand that we look at COVID-19, it will likely persist for years, even with the vaccination in place. So in the post-COVID development strategic or PCDS 2030, as what we understand, that tourism is one of the economic sectors that has been identified as the main engines of growth. So what are MPC's initiatives to facilitate the industry in revitalizing the tourism activities? Maybe you can share with us some of the initiatives or some of the collaborative efforts undertaken with MPC partners.
All right. Thank you, Panchas. In response to that, okay, under the Sarawak Productive Flagship, right, we have three initiatives. One of the initiatives is the Empowering Productive Mindset. Okay, all these initiatives we map against the PCDS. So we have we will connect the mandate that we received from at federal level, which is the Malaysia Productivity Blueprint, right, to initiate tourism productivity initiatives, right? And we look into PCDS 2030, which is the main focus. One of the main focus is to drive tourism as one of the engine growth for the state. So that's where we will collaborate, we will leverage, and we complement any programs coming soon, between MPC and MTAX and relevant stakeholders in the tourism value chain, right? So among the initiatives that I can bring forward via this Sarawak flagship, leveraging on the TPN's program, the Malaysia Virtual Experience, MyVXP, and also the certification for COVID-19, which is called Garis Patuh dan Amal COVID-19. I will explain that later. Right. So Malaysia Virtual Experience is all about a reinvention of tourism products. As I said earlier, where we create this online experience as a teaser, a teaser for our potential guests, for our previous guests, to know more about Malaysia, to know more in details about specific destination in Sarawak, for example, to know more about Bau, to know more about Kuching, Miri, from offline packages into online virtual experience, in the form of can be anything, tourism products, attractions, destinations, or culture. Even we had recently showcase of Bidayo fashion, Bidayo culture fashion. So we know that Bidayo has 6 ethnics, sub-ethnics, Bidayo itself, and as we mentioned earlier, there are 45 ethnics in Sarawak. So every ethnic, they can showcase their uniqueness through this MyVXP, right? Right. And MyVXP aims to amplify the new normal of experience tourism. It's all about creating that wow factor, the wow factor. We are focusing on the uniqueness and creating the experience. And you come back, when you go back to your hometown, you'll be longing to, looking forward to another new experience. Perhaps the experience of making cake, cake lapis, for the popular cake lapis in Sarawak. The model is also one of the marketing tools to upsell tourist attraction and destination. As I said, it's a teaser for our guests soon, right? Right. So in utilizing this initiative, we can identify a new business model which address key activities, resources, partnership, customer relation, and take into consideration the online model, right? E-commerce, in terms of payment gateway, and how we're gonna realign our revenue stream. As I said, local experiences, very important. It's very the most important factor, unique selling point. Why our potential guests come all the way, let's say from India, to Kuching, to Bau, just to experience that unique Bidayu culture. Small groups, B2C, design package to give experience-based products. Now, as we're talking about segmentized market, small groups traveling, perhaps rombongan Mak Cikia is still far away. The guests or our domestic travelers, still looking to travel in their own family, with their own family, or with their own groups of friends. So how do we attract this kind of travelers? Mind you, we're looking for to cost effective, right? People are starting to spend. So how we're gonna optimize the outing for them? And another thing is the opportunity to reposition Sarawak local products, handicraft. For example, batik, songket, and turn it into corporate gift, or is really special gift, or collector's item. This batik is designed during the COVID period, so you have perhaps something to remind you how out of nothingness you do something to optimize the product. Okay, and also when we start opening up, we must really take into consideration the sustainability factor. As you've seen, what has happened, I think in Klang Valley, and one of the local spots, it's such a mess. Yeah, our travelers, our people are still in the mindset of not really being particular about this beautiful tourism spot, right? Like the waterfall and all that. It is pristine and clean, but once they left, there's a huge of piles of litters. Yeah? So sustainability agenda it should be on the card. Yeah. Protecting our resources. I believe Mr. He informed me. Sarawak has 67 national parks. In Kuching there are 10 national parks. So these are all tourism assets that we need to safeguard for our future generation. So sustainability is no doubt must be in everyone's mind. Yeah, what we enjoy today, we must keep it for our future generation to enjoy it as well. Yeah, right. I also mentioned about the compliance certification. Garis Panduan Amal COVID GPAC 19. Okay, for awareness and facilitate business and to operate according to the latest relevant SOPs. All right, this is an online program. Okay. The certification is based on 7 criteria, right? Compliance to government issued SOPs. For example, if the operator claim that they using the Mohd SOPs, or perhaps Kementerian Belia dan Sukan SOPs, or perhaps any PBT SOPs, so they must prove that they are adhering to the SOP. Yeah. Another criteria, restarting and continuing business operation, ensuring staff readiness, managing operational readiness, promoting, this is important, promoting safety and cleanliness. I think one of the, I would say, lesson learned from COVID is to be very particular of hygiene and cleanliness. Yeah. And also, of course, want to build the tourist trust and confidence. Okay, trust is a given factor. Once it's taken away, you can never get it back. Yeah, so build that trust and confidence for a repeat visit, for a repeat guests to come. Yeah, right. For this GPAC, okay, the 7 categories that can apply. Of course, for travel agent and tour operator, tourism retail, products and operator, homestay accommodation, event management, MICE and event venue, and of course, adventure tourism. So these are the categories that can apply for GPAC 19. So I hope with this effort, and of course, MPC, we have various other tools in terms of policy design, to facilitate the authority to design evidence-based policy more effective measure for the rakyat to have a more unique experience coming to Sarawak. As a traveler myself, as one who loves to experience new places, even in our own country, in Sarawak, I haven't yet to experience the beauty of Sarawak, the nature beauty of Sarawak. Right. I believe it begins from ourselves. How we train ourselves to be mindful, empathize, and simply said, we want our house to be speak and span, right, tidy all the time. So when we leave our house, we go to experience what nature has to offer, then we should bring that that conscious mind, that practice everywhere we go. Proactive mind. Productive mindset is all about proactive mind, and how we can, what can we do? If we cannot do this first option, what else can we do? Sampai can come up with a good solution to address the issue in hand.
Our last question to Mr. He. Mr. He, the unprecedented impact of COVID-19 again has changed the tourism industry worldwide. So reinvention and innovation of tourism products, attractions and destinations is crucial to fit the changes from many aspects, all right? So from your opinion, in your opinion, what are the among the Sarawak government's initiatives or measures, especially for tourism industry, to keep reinvent and innovate tourist products?
Yeah, okay. Now, I think like we mentioned earlier, reinvention and innovation are indeed very vital to meet the changing demands and behaviors of travelers post-COVID-19. So we believe tourists now, like what Hafizah has been sharing, will be looking for different experiences in a small group, family outings, to a safe and destinations which observe health protocols, maybe looking for more innovative products, more aggressive promotion and marketing online and so on. So I think we need to be ready. So for Sarawak, we want our players to get ready for digital tourism. When I mean digital tourism, I think it encompasses a lot of aspects. Firstly, when we share information with the tourists, so Sarawak government, we have come up with a Sarawak travel application. I think normally we only promote through websites. So now we have a travel application which you can download from Apple Store, from App Store, Play Store. And if you visit our travels app, you will find that we incorporate elements of immersive technology like augmented reality, or we call AR, or virtual reality, VR, where you can actually enjoy virtual experiences by walking through, say, Sarawak Cultural Village. Okay, you can go through some of the national parks virtually, right? And also you can play some games by using augmented reality. So these are the things that I think something which is more attractive, especially for the new generations, the millennials. Apart from that, we also want to get ready for e-commerce. E-commerce now is very important. I think is the industry which actually leverage on e-commerce. I think they enjoy continuous business during the pandemic. So we have tour packages. We have handicraft products on Shopee, for example. All right. And we are working very well with Shopee to enable people still can go to buy souvenirs, buy tour packages and travel later. So these are the examples that we are getting the industry players ready. And for tourism players, how do we get them ready? So we introduced this online ecosystem fund, okay, by Sarawak Tourism Board. So we can allocate a maximum of 5,000 each for each applicant. They can be hotels, they can be tour operators, they can be destination owners who would like to promote their products online through their website, who would like to incorporate a payment gateway for e-payment, or probably they want to promote their products through social media. So all these, they can use that ecosystem fund to get ready for digital tourism when the customers are coming back. So apart from that, we also promote virtual and hybrid events. For example, the world famous Rainforest World Musical Festival. We can't organize it physically, but we do not stop, but instead we turn it into a virtual event. 3 days event, and you can imagine how many viewers there are. There were actually 140,000 viewers from 80 countries during June 2021. And we also organized the virtual Borneo International Jazz Festival 2021, where we received 116,000 viewers. So you can imagine, by organizing a very innovative virtual and hybrid events, you can still let the clients or your customers or visitors to actually remember, hey, Sarawak still has Rainforest World Musical Festival. They still have Borneo International Jazz Festival. So we will go back next year physically. So we are doing this promotion through our TV Sarawa and also Shopee Live. Even souvenirs, T-shirts are on sale during the festival. So those are the very interesting experience that we have in Sarawak. Apart from those initiatives, we have another one which is very interesting. So we call this Grab Ambassadors campaign. Grab drivers now, practically, I think they were the alternative for taxi drivers. So when visitors come, they will hop on to Grab and travel to their destinations. So Grab drivers, we view them as very important partners. So we call them ambassadors, because the moment customers sit inside their car, they can start to introduce Sarawak. So we work with Grab. We introduce some modules that they can learn electronically through their own Grab platform. So we have modules like what are the best destinations in Kuching, the best destinations in Cebu, Miri, what are the local cultures. So the Grab drivers, they can learn and explain and introduce Sarawak to the visitors. And we actually issue certificates to them digitally and also give them some incentives. And another one I want to share is how we can work with the NGOs to come up with innovative tourism products. Okay, we have this Carpenter Street in Kuching. It's a very old shop house area, could be pre-war era. So we work with them, then we come up with a heritage trail. So it comes in the form of brochures, videos, interviews with the people there, because there are still a lot of very interesting traditional trade along that street, and some are very historical from generation to generation, like tinsmith, like a lot of local souvenirs. So we turn that street, okay, into a heritage trail where visitors can stop by each of the interesting shops. They know about the history, they can walk through, they can dine in, and so on. So because of that project, then we come up with a new product, Kuching Heritage Trail. And the other one we are in the middle of coming up is Sarawak Self-Drive. So with this package, the tourists, when they come in, they can actually pick up brochure. They can just decide, okay, which route I want to go. I want to go to Bau. I want to go to Syrian, half an hour, 1 hour drive, 2 hours drive, or even half a day's drive. So because of this project, we will have some new tourism products for the visitors to enjoy. So these are some of the examples I mentioned, how our tourism industry work with the government, NGOs can be innovative, so that the tourists, when they come back, they could have a new product, some innovation, some immersive technology, and also the tourism players are ready for all this innovation. And when we talk about the new norm, I think Sarawak, we have introduced another innovation. So we introduced the Enter Sarawak application. So for visitors coming into Sarawak, say from KL, you want to come to Kuching, so you just apply through Enter Sarawak application. So you attach, because of the protocol, we need 3 days negative RT-PCR test, okay? And also your air tickets, your hotel bookings, your tour bookings, so that we can approve for you to come in to Sarawak. For now, if you have been vaccinated, then you do not have to undergo quarantine anymore in Sarawak. So that's how we get prepared for tourists to come back. Because I think this is important. Why? I think the ultimate aim is to boost the confidence of visitors to Sarawak. They will know, hey, you even have these measures in place, you have these protocols in place. So I will feel safe when I am in Sarawak because of all these protocols in place. So this is how I think we need to be innovative on how we face the new norm. Now, I think for Sarawakians and the local people, we want them to actually observe the health protocols, the SOPs very, very strictly. Because I think you are not only protecting yourself, but actually you paint a very positive picture for the visitors to come to Sarawak. Just imagine if we observe the protocols, all right, our cases are very low. And also when the visitors read the news, information about Sarawak, that people are observing strict protocols when they are at the beaches, where they go for hiking, so they feel safe to come back. So, but if you do not observe protocols, when this spread and viral, I think the tourists, they say, hey, you are not ready to receive us yet. So these are my reminders and advice and appeal to the locals. But for the tourism players, we would like them to continue to work with the government, all right, and to remain resilient and be innovative and be ready to welcome back visitors to Sarawak.
But thank you for both our speakers, our panelists today, Mr. Chang and Puan Hajah Nur Hafizah Arop, for your insightful thoughts on the future outlook for tourism, especially in Sarawak. We hope that all the initiatives taken will jumpstart the tourism industry in Sarawak. All the best to both of you. In order to flourish and rise from the crisis, we need to stay positive and view it as opportunity to be even more productive by leveraging on digital technology. Let us pray that our full force effort to reboot productivity will realize, as per our tagline, stay safe and stay productive, Sarawak productive. So we'll see you again next week, Friday, 3 p.m. See you.